Y'all want to talk conspiracies a little bit? Not really conspiracies, but I don't know if y'all have heard about this. But anybody have an Apple phone, like an iPhone? Anybody got an iPhone? I think mine is an 11. I haven't upgraded in many years. Got it in 2020, never upgraded. But some people have noticed that the Apple iPhone, I guess the newer models, maybe last couple of years, the phone has what they call an infrared sensor on the front of it, right? So anybody doing Face ID, the what am I wrong about, low folks? But anybody using Face ID, that the technology that helps you scan your face is infrared technology. It's using infrared, is using a whole bunch of little data points to map your face out and say, the person that's supposed to be unlocking this, this is their facial signature. So that's the normal function for it. But somebody had used the infrared camera and they showed that the phone is constantly taking these infrared images using a sensor every 5 seconds, just nonstop, just all throughout the day. Your iPhone is just scanning your face all throughout the day. Not when you're trying to unlock the phone, just continuously all day scanning your face. This thing says they use, it's called, so they use Apple's camera technology called True Depth Camera. It uses 30,000 invisible little dots to create a map of your face so that your phone can detect when you are active. They say it's trying to detect when you're active, but it's really not trying to connect. It's not really a theory. I just called it that. It's not trying to detect when you're active. I'm gonna tell you my little what I do with my phone. So look, I know that these phones are scanning our faces all throughout the day, right? Why is little folks' messages keep being retracted? Who's doing that? Are you doing that yourself? You deleting your own messages? Why are you doing that? But the phones, any camera or any sensor in modern times, they are all using resources to constantly scan everything going on. That's voice and image. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just how technology works now. The reason that they're doing it is because, have y'all heard of big data? So big data is just pretty much about collecting all the information that we have access to. It does not matter what it is. It doesn't matter how insignificant it seems. Every piece of information is valuable because all of it allows us to use AI to map the world and recreate, pretty much computerized versions of the environment that the phone is in or that the sensor is in, right? Essentially, we want all the data. It's called unstructured data. Bring us all the information and we will figure, even if we don't know what to do with it right now, we'll figure out what we can do with it in the future. But for the time being, we have all the algorithms that we need to do what we need to do, but we need more information. So that's why they put microphones on as much as they can. That's why they went crazy selling Alexas a couple of years ago. Remember how, Amazon was pushing. I haven't seen Amazon advertise Alexa in a long time. They don't need to now. It's everywhere now. They're collecting as much information as they need. And a lot of these smart devices that we consider smart devices, Alexa is built into it. So they have ways of now gathering all this information. So be careful what you do and say around your phones. But now let's get back to the tracking thing, the facial tracking thing. When I'm looking at my phone, right, and I'm scrolling, when I'm looking at my phone and stuff and I'm scrolling, when I change my facial expression, I do like this, right? I put the phone up because I know that these cameras are looking at me. But the reason I put the phone up like that is because I'm more so trying to keep my different expressions concealed, right? I don't want these cameras capturing what my face does when I have different emotions. Happy, sad, whether I think something is weird, whether I think something is strange, whether I'm confused. All of this information is valuable to big data. When they can start mapping out people's emotions, when they can start to say, okay, we can connect the face that this person just made when they saw this image means that they had this emotion. That's valuable information to these people. And I'm not trying to stop them from gathering it because I don't want them to have valuable information. I'm trying to stop them from gathering it because they haven't told us how they plan on using it in the future. No, I'm not. No. When you say it's too late, I've been doing that forever. I always, anytime my facial, like a lot of people see me and they think like, yo, like they think I'm weird or whatever because they say I don't show emotions on my face and all that. That's really how I am. I'm gonna change my facial expression when there's no cameras on my face. You understand what I'm saying? I've been doing that for years. Like it's not a new thing to me. If you find a picture of me smiling or something like that, it's far and few between. And you're not gonna see too much facial expression change from me because I'm already knowing that everything is scanning everything all the time. Stuff that I know that could prove to be harmful to me in the future, I don't say it out loud at all to anybody. Anytime I was doing, and I'm talking about over 10 years ago, anytime I was going to do something I shouldn't have been doing, I was leaving my phone at home then. I'm not taking anything. I'm gonna take a car that's not connected to anything too, or take an old car. I'm not gonna take a car with OnStar in it because even if you don't pay for OnStar, it's always connected. I've been on this way back then because I've always, and this is before I was working in tech, I've always been just hyper paranoid about what's going on and what they might do with this information. If they just told me what they was going to do with the information, that'd be different because then I'd be like, okay, I don't care. But just the fact that I know that us just giving up this information, we're not the ones that's able to benefit from it. Because when we use these phones and we use these devices, these computers and all that, we sign terms of agreements. Even when you go onto a website, you going on a website, there's terms and conditions for you even being on that site. Terms and conditions that you don't have to sign anything to agree. You being on that site is you agreeing to their terms and conditions. So essentially stuff like Facebook, right? If you log into, now this is beyond the Apple thing, right? No, I'm not AI. I'm not worried about AI modeling. I'm worried about them being able to map emotions. Them being able to recreate a picture of me. I don't care about that. There's pictures of me on the internet, so I'm not really tripping about them having pictures of me. I don't care if you have a picture of me. It's about the being able to. This is what I'm more thinking about. I'm more thinking about Minority Report type of stuff, right? Because they're not going to use like a lot of the stuff that you see on social media where they're like, oh, this is what you would look like in the 1920s, or this is what you would look like as a baby. That's childish. That's toy stuff. That's nothing, right? Eventually, when they get to the point where they feel like they're comfortable enough with their technology, what they're going to start doing is they're going to scan your face and say, the lie detector test with the polygraph is going away. They're going to do lie detector tests with your face. And they're going to say, we know when you're lying because we have all this data about your facial expressions and emotions and all this. You just lied when you said that you didn't kill that person because your face did the same thing it did when you lied this other time. That's more in line with what I'm talking about. So it's not them doing artificial modeling and stuff like that. I'm not really worried about that. Now, the talk about Facebook, right? Yeah, but the picture recreation joints is you know there's one photo recreation thing where they tell you that you have to send in photos of yourself making a bunch of different expressions. Those are the dangerous ones right there. And most of the time it's from companies like apps that you never even heard of. They just popped up out of nowhere. A lot of times those apps belong to these bigger social media companies, but you just don't realize it, right? But anyway, Facebook had a thing, and Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg had to speak in front of Congress some years ago about this. Any browser that you use to log into Facebook with, it gives Facebook, now this is the entire browser, it gives Facebook the right to scan everything that you go to on that computer, every website you go to on that computer once you log into Facebook. Right? That's how they were able to, and not even just logging into Facebook. If you go to Facebook's site, they're allowed to just scan everything that you go to. Remember, I don't know if anybody watched that hearing. I actually watched it because it was crazy. They told Mark Zuckerberg, they asked him, we heard something about ghost accounts. What is a ghost account? Explain to us what's a ghost account and explain to us why you have ghost accounts. So what a ghost account was on Facebook is even people who did not ever create a Facebook profile, because they were on the internet, And because they might have scanned past a Facebook property, like one of their websites or anything, because they were on the internet and were using a browser that Facebook had access to, Facebook created an account for them and pretty much you loaded up the metadata of that profile with all of the stuff that they see you browsing through on your computer. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not me making this up. This was in front of Congress a few years ago, right? When I say few, this was probably 7 years ago, something like that. He talked about this ghost accounts. So even people who don't have Facebook accounts, Facebook has an account for you. That's the type of stuff that is like scary AI stuff. The little photo apps, like that's nothing. That's childish. That's toy stuff. That's essentially, when it comes to AI, when they come up with these little pictures and they say, yo, this person was here and they really wasn't there, or they show this picture from the 1970s, but it never really happened. That is to AI what Fisher Price is to basketball. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say toy. That's like nothing. It's like any one of us can go build an app like that. You see what I'm saying? But I just wanted to chop that up with y'all real quick. You know, I am deep in the conspiracy theory world. I am deep in the conspiracy theory world, man. So I have many of them, and I like to hear other people's, because we could do a conspiracy theory segment on here. So if any of y'all have some theories for me, and y'all want to come on, just like we did with the YSL trial, we bring you on here, and we could talk about the conspiracy theories too, because there's millions of them, and we could chop them up and figure them out.